Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, Capricorns, we are going to, wow, cards are coming. We're going to take a look at what is it time for? And that is because we're sitting in front of a backdrop of London, obviously. And so, each thing in this backdrop has been an inspiration to me. Earlier this week, we were doing like a message about who wants to reach out or what's a message coming in because of the telephone booth. Now we have Big Ben. And so I want to look at timing. And then by the end of the weekend, we'll touch on whatever, that bus, whatever is coming in. But let's take a look at what is it the right time for in Capricorn's world right now. We shall just see. I loved the inspiration of London, and I personally happen to be half British. And my father is from London. So, I was born and raised in the West Coast, United States, but London is, I have ties there. So it was also kind of an appealing backdrop to me for that. But mostly, I love Big Ben. So I'm really happy to do this timeline story. So we've got the Hanged Man, we've got the Judgment, and we've got the Temperance. So we have three major arcana. So it's time for something big in Capricorn's life. Hey, V. The fact that we have time to think about something from a different perspective, time to think about happiness, time to think about maybe forgiveness. Hang on, what's that song? But I think it's about forgiveness, even if you don't love me anymore. I've been trying to get down to the heart of the matter. Is that Don Henley? And my heart seems to shatter, but I think it's about forgiveness. Yeah, I think it's Henley, right? This feels really lovely, actually. It feels like if Capricorn is going to be freeing themselves from a burden, if they're going to be reconciling with something to find their own peace, it doesn't mean that they have an obligation to go out and give somebody, absolution and chase somebody around and be like, oh, here, let me tell you that it's okay that you hurt me. I don't ever in my stories believe, well, personally, these are all fictional stories, right? But I still have my own personal ideas. So even as a fictional storyteller, sometimes you'll hear the real me pop up, and I'm going to say something real right now, which is I don't ever believe that it is a victim's job to give forgiveness to anybody. I think forgive ourselves for the fact that we had to endure something that was painful, but I don't think any victim ever needs to give somebody forgiveness, and that's no obligation on them. And I feel very strongly about that. And I just want to bring that into the story because we're talking about this Capricorn who, when I say, oh, it's time in this storyline for our fictional character to look at things from a different perspective, to maybe make peace with something so that they can have peace in their life. I just don't ever want it to sound like it's like, oh, you need to say that it's okay to somebody who hurt you. Hell no, you do not. No way. Not on Kate's watch. Look, I'm not a good person, okay? But I do believe in being fair, and I don't think any victim has to ever say everything's okay and it's my job to now forgive you. No. But I do think it's great for an individual who knew, hurt or pain. I want them to heal, whatever that takes for them, to forgive themselves for whatever experiences their poor little self had to go through. I believe in supporting the individual. So that's just my spin on this. And I just had to say that because I didn't want it to come out wrong. This feels like for Capricorn, they are totally working with the flow of the universe. The universe has much better things in store for them. Literally, they could start to feel like they are giving birth to a new life. Now, sometimes, because we don't know how the story is going to go just yet, but could there be a new beginning in it, like a relationship? It would all depend on, what happened. Why did something happen that, broke us apart? Why is forgiveness necessary? If Capricorn can see something from a different perspective and be like, you know what, I can totally forgive that person because they didn't mean to hurt me and I actually still love them. And honestly, we could still be good together. And now is the time that we could start fresh. Sure, that could be a story. I mean, as long as it's not like Capricorn taking back somebody that is, intentionally bad to them. That I would be like, whoa, no. I don't tell stories like that because I don't believe in bringing back people that harm us. But I also don't tell stories about abuse, and that's because I have a zero tolerance for it. So we're going to say that's not in this story, although this could be a story of reconciliation. And it could be a story where it's like reconciliation is possible because true forgiveness is there. I mean, if this is how Capricorn feels about something, if they're like, look, I see it from such a different lens now, maybe, whatever happened in the past, I can fully forgive because either I see them as a different person now, or I have greater comprehension of why. Look, this could be that somebody was busy sacrificing themselves and happiness. Maybe this is a Pisces that wanted to be with Capricorn, but instead ended up martyring themselves, saying, I can't be with the person that I love. I can't be with my Capricorn because, I'm expected to, you know, be too invested in, taking care of my family members. I was raised in a family where I have to sacrifice my happiness to make sure that first and foremost I take care of my parents as they age. Or, I'm just saying that there could be other extenuating circumstances where Capricorn's like, I'm not even mad. This person didn't try to hurt me. This person was cheating themselves out of happiness with me, and therefore I got cheated too. But on the other hand, I'm not mad because I understand that they were maybe erroneously giving too much of themselves elsewhere, but it wasn't to try to harm me. And if that situation has changed, I could see how Capricorn could be like, yeah, I could take this person back. Yes, we could start over. Yes, if now we have the opportunity to be together. I don't know, this almost feels like Capricorn has this unique ability, because they are an empress in this story, to see someone else's struggle and understand their struggle. And I say that because we have this 5 of Wands. And I wonder if this is about a relationship, if this is about someone that Capricorn cares about, has always cared about, and who has loved Capricorn also, but they perpetually were not choosing the connection. It may be because they, as Capricorn, can look at them and say, they get so stuck in their head, they wind up trying to solve the problems of something else that isn't theirs to solve. This is the chaos hippo. And I almost feel like Capricorn goes, I know this isn't a bad person. I just know that they sure do take on problems that aren't their own and get invested in dramas and battles that don't have anything to do with them. And that's why I can't say that they tried to harm me by not choosing me. It's just they got pulled off in directions of drama and felt like somehow it's their job to fix everything for everyone. Now, let's say this is all just about Capricorn. The same message would stand. Capricorn themselves might be saying, you know what? I didn't mean to be any doormat or anything, but I'm realizing I was kind of martyring myself. I was giving way too much of my life's energy to try to help other people fix their problems. And you know what? I forgive myself for accidentally placing other people's needs so much higher than my own. Other people's drama was more important, that I be there for them in their moments of self-imposed drama, than for me to stand up and protect my own time and protect my own peace of mind. And I forgive me. I know this is something I'll work on my whole life, but I've learned some serious lessons. I'm in Empress mode now, but I do care about others, but I have to keep that boundary between caring and stepping across to where someone else and their problems live in my head to such an extent that I am, like basically draining myself. So I could look at it like that too, where this is just simply Capricorn understanding that about themselves and making that change, or this is actually the chance for Capricorn to reconcile with someone because, again, they can see that those traits in a different individual and know that it wasn't intended to cause Capricorn harm. With this Prince of Pentacles, that Prince of Pentacles, that's the slow moving energy. So I think Capricorn themselves might have taken time to see it this way, to see this person in that light. And they, in turn, might have also taken quite a bit of time to grow and mature into somebody who can stand on their own 2 feet and say, no, I don't overgive anymore. I'm a King of Pentacles. I am giving. Is Capricorn dealing with a fellow giver, maybe a fellow earth sign, and somebody who's like, look, I don't give up on stuff. When I say I'll follow through, I do. If I say I'll help somebody, if, family is under my umbrella of protection, friends, whomever I care about, but, they're to really become a king, a queen, an emperor, an empress, it's where we have compassion, we care about others, we have concern for others' well-being, but we also know where to put a boundary up that says, hold on now, you're responsible for some of those messes you're making. And although I'll help you, it's within range. You're not going to get a piggyback ride on my back through life well, you take zero responsibility. Or if you keep making the same mistakes, I'm not going to keep bailing you out when you won't learn lessons. Maybe, you got to give tough love too. It's just emperors, empresses, kings and queens learn how to deal with their problems and still be compassionate for others, but don't like lay themselves down and make themselves a doormat for other people. Or like I say, give people total piggyback rides through life so that no one else has responsibility, but they hold all the responsibility. And I'm just feeling like either Capricorn has observed, and now I think that it is a second person. I think Capricorn is in Empress energy, and I think Capricorn is recognizing that there's this King of Pentacles who's finally become the king. It took him a long time to get there, to stop dealing with other people's drama. And it might have cost them the relationship with Capricorn. They might not have been able to give to Capricorn because they were so busy being run ragged by everybody else's drama. But their big lesson is that they had to learn how to actually stand up for themselves and protect like the relationships that they really wanted to have with Capricorn, for example. Look, if Capricorn is thinking about taking this person back, it is because things have changed. And obviously they have. If this person has now become a King of Pentacles, they're wiser. They're not anybody's doormat. They're not overgiving anymore. They know where to put their priorities. But also Capricorn can see this for what it was. They didn't do this to be mean to me. They did this because they didn't have boundaries around their own energy, which is a far cry from somebody, that is being mean to us. So I could see why this is a connection that could actually come back together if those lessons have been learned. Now, at this point in time, it says that those lessons have been learned, and Capricorn themselves is the one looking at the situation and saying, I can see what's different. I'm able to see this, and I'm actually, maybe once upon a time, Capricorn's like, oh, I would never forgive that person. They chose their family drama instead of, me. They should have picked me up from work, but instead they were busy helping out their cousin who gets himself into trouble all the time, and I was left high and dry. It could be that once upon a time Capricorn was like, I'm never dealing with somebody who can't put me as a priority. But things have changed over time, and this is definitely a storyline that has taken time. This could have been years. This could be like a very slow shift for Capricorn to fully understand all of this, but it's also been a slow shift for them to grow and put boundaries where they belong. So I definitely think that this could be, changing. Princess of Wands. I almost feel like this is somebody Capricorn at one point in time would have said, oh, I would never be attracted to them again. And I think shockingly, Capricorn could find themselves like, believe it or not, I am attracted to them again. Maybe it still is a small little spark, but there's like a chance for reconciliation here. There's a chance for, I don't know, this almost feels like somebody from a long time ago who's back in Capricorn's life. And even though it never seemed like this could have been possible in the past, it's bizarrely, Capricorn's like, I am actually attracted to them. I am actually seeing everything in a different light. I'm seeing them in a better light. With this Nine of Wands, this is actually very cathartic and very healing as well. Capricorn might strangely be willing to offer them, a little bit of energy, like invite them to something. And it's like, wow, for a long time, I looked at them as an enemy, or I looked at them as somebody that I would never want to talk to again. And there's significant change here. With that Three of Pentacles, it's like, I can't believe this, but this situation looks so different now from where I am at this point in my life. I see them in a different energy. I see that we could actually interact. Prince of Swords. Oh my God. If Capricorn says anything about like welcoming this person in, this person's going to be there in a minute. This is like, here they come running. Did Capricorn just invite me over? Did Capricorn just give me a smile? Seriously? Capricorn is like softening toward me. Okay, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. Let me ask this: how is this person showing up in Cap's life? Because this feels like it's an interesting. Well, we have the Awakening, and again, that's the Judgment card. I don't know if somebody, since we have flying twice, I don't know if this is somebody who's like recently come back to town, if this is somebody who's like flying in, if this is somebody who just happens to be in Capricorn's area, or if they've reached out or will be reaching out with a message of, God, I hope you can forgive me. I didn't know how to put up boundaries before. I didn't know how to choose what I wanted, which was Capricorn, but I didn't know how to choose you, Capricorn, because I didn't know how to choose my own wants. I mean, they could be sending a message, this, a bird or a message flying like that could represent their, Capricorn's going to get a text or an email or something from them, phone call, where they want to go ahead and kind of like ask for forgiveness. So they're the ones starting this, is what it says. Their intention to, definitely with the Seven of Pentacles, they want to tell Capricorn that they learned something. Finally, they're harvesting the lesson. It's something I should have known a long time ago, Capricorn, which is I didn't ever stand up for what I wanted. So even though I wanted to be with you, Capricorn, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to protect my own energy and choose and advocate for what I wanted. But that's the lesson I've now learned. It's like this person is saying, like, I hope you can forgive me that I couldn't pick us because I couldn't pick me before. Death card. Holy smokes. Definitely strong Scorpio on their side. But it feels like this message is coming in before the end of the year for Capricorn. This is somebody who just wants to tell Capricorn they would have done it so differently now. The them that they are, the lesson that they've learned. Now I understand why Capricorn has been looking at them with a different set of eyes. It's like, I never would have guessed that this person would say those things, but somehow it makes me able to forgive them. It makes me understand. It also makes me think maybe they are more balanced. It also makes me think maybe I do want to talk to them. That makes a lot more sense to me now that we see what opens up this dialogue is them reaching out with this message, them saying and them laying it out. It wasn't really Capricorn just magically understanding it. It was that they vocalized it and then Capricorn had it sink in like, well, I could actually understand that. I could understand why that all happened to them. They didn't know how to stand up for themselves. If they are a King of Pentacles now, look, this person could be extremely attractive now in a way that I think Capricorn was like, oh, I would never be drawn to them again. Capricorn might have had like a dismissive attitude toward this person or thought kind of poorly of them. And it's all switched around, at least by the end of the year. I feel like Capricorn and this person will be interacting, could be interacting in a passionate manner by the end of the year with that Lover's card. It was strong Gemini energy here. You notice how it's like I'm hearing that song, I'll be working my way back to you, babe, with the burning love inside. I can't think who sings it. That's not Temptations, is it? I'll be working my way back to you, babe. And the happiness that died, don't let it slip away. Yeah, I'm digging this storyline. Yes, this still has to kind of play out, but we certainly see like reasons that things happened, and that alone is making this like possible to have a new beginning here. It's nice when we have characters that have actually maybe matured to an extent where they have something to say. They are actually proving that things have changed and that they've matured. All right, you guys. Oh, Rachel's Magic is at the spinners. Thank you so much, hon. Thank you. You guys, thanks for being here. Really good to see everybody. CL, V, Lisa Boyle. Hi. Sarah J, Annie S. Good to see you. Hi, Robin. All right, everybody. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you guys again later on tonight. Okay. I love that. You thought it was the Temptations too, Rachel's Magic. Bye, guys. Nice to see you. I'll see you later. Annie.